Zhang Weili is furious.
She's upset. 100%.
Oh, welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of Axe Cake Picks, episode 197. Today is Friday, October 3rd, 2025. Kid, a little different camera angle, but can you see this?
You're fine. You look good. Hold on. What did we see? What you got? Oh, did you get that personally from Mike?
From Mike Perry out of
yeah.
Louis duffel bag. I said, what do you got in there?
Oh, wait, his carry.
No, he had another duffel bag, too.
Oh, he had another duffel.
Yeah, he came strapped out, but good to see you. How are you? How's the Carolinas
I
doing?
should call you Dr. Credentialed. You know what I'm saying? You did good, man. I surprised you. You got the first question out there.
I was surprised too. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, I got credentialed to do BKFC 82 live at Brick City. I mean, Conor McGregor was there. Obviously, Dave Feldman, Mike Perry, Jeremy Stevens, Jimmy Rivera, the two girls fighting for the Queen of Violence. And they said, yeah, media first two rows. So I said, all right. So I sat right on the corner. You know, I'm like the airplane. I like the kind of the aisle row.
The aisle, yeah.
So I get that, right? And, you know, I'm networking, making small talk with people. And this guy who you actually met, Brian, slick hair back, Italian, Paisan. He goes, I said, I got two questions. He goes, all right, I'm going to walk around. And if anyone goes, I'll make my way back to you. I said, okay, no worries. I come, he goes.
The guy, what's his name? I forgot the guy who does the
he hosts it. It's kind of like a John Anik.
Yeah, but, exactly.
He's good.
Said let's start from the front.
Yes, he said let's start from the front. And then Brian goes, I'm coming to you. I go, fuck it. I said fuck it. So I got a little in my head. I thought the first one I did well, but actually the what I wanted to ask Jeremy Stevens was, you know, you make your return back home to Iowa. Was this always the plan to come back? But instead, on the fly, I said, you make your return back. How do you see Saturday going? And I think I got a great response. Connor loved it and everything.
Yeah, you did, man. He's been going to that line. What is it? Face down, ass up, cheeks clapping.
Cheeks clapping, Playboy. And he goes, since Halloween's around, I'm going to carve his ass up like a pumpkin. He's the hardest one hit in 145er.
Yeah. Hey, when I knock people out, they don't move.
Yeah, so it was
it's gonna be violent, like you said.
Yeah.
The Queen of Violence going on, King of Violence. I think you might have made a little name for yourself there, my guy.
I hope so. We got the weigh-ins later tonight, which I will be at. But it was really cool. It was, you know, you always got that one idiot that's loud. And
what do we got? The weigh-ins tonight, and you're going to the fights tomorrow?
And then the fights tomorrow, yeah. So it should be fun. I get the credential pass the day of the fight. But yeah, weigh-in should be good. Hopefully everybody makes weight, and hopefully nothing happens. But I think Connor stole the show, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, honestly did, man. I mean, everyone's talking about him. Where is he going to return? Is he going to do the BKFC route? Is he going to go the White House card route with Michael Chandler? I think, honestly, if you look at the BKFC route, I don't know if he wants to fight Mike Perry. I think he's hoping maybe Jeremy Stevens gets a win.
That's what it seemed like. He seemed like he wanted.
We'll talk about that some more. I know it's a stacked weekend besides BKFC taking place at The Rock. You know,
he also said that, like, you know, Mike, if you don't win, you're gone. You're gone. Do you believe him? Because a lot of people, obviously my girlfriend was there with me, and she goes, do you really think he'll, and I go, you never know. Connor's a crazy son of a gun. He might.
I don't know. I think he's pulling it, you know, manipulating it the way he wants. I don't think you let go of a guy like Mike Perry, especially if he beats Jeremy Stevens.
And Dave Feldman was just putting his head down. He was like, no, come on. Come on. What are we doing here?
Hey, it makes for a great, like I said, story matchup. We may get him and Mike Perry, but you know, who knows at this point? It could be the UFC, it could be the BKFC.
100%. But overall, it was a really good experience. And I actually have a one-on-one interview with Mike that I got a chance to chop it up with him as well after the press conference. It will be up within the day or two on AKP's YouTube page. So definitely going to put that out. He's a really good guy. And cannot wait. And,
Evergreens. I mean,
no, Wintergreen. I said, but I met him in Winter Garden. Winter Garden is in Florida. He goes, "Oh, yeah, that's right. I seen you."
That's crazy.
He goes, "That's crazy." Mike Perry, legend, absolute legend. But Joe, regardless of that, we got a great episode today. We'll recap UFC Perth. I met a lot of guys there yesterday talking about, he goes, yeah, it's not my first event. I used to do PFL, Bellator. I said, oh, we got Hughes Nurmagomedov too. He goes, yeah, I had an opportunity to go there, but I chose this. I said, why? He goes, they ain't advertising it. Why should I go?
That's some truth to that. There's some validity there.
Not wrong. But yeah, we got picks on that. Nurmagomedov, Hughes 2, UFC
shortly.
20, BKFC 82. We're already in week 9 at Dana White Contender Series. I know you went undefeated last week, right?
Yeah, we went 5-0, baby.
I love it. So we got some news towards the end of the show, and then Joe will end us with 10 seconds left. But since it's already started, it started 11:30 here on the East Coast. What do we got here for Nurmagomedov and Hughes 2?
They're live right now. I mean, do you have any opinion on the co-main event? Because they'll come in first, and I mean, that's going for the vacant light heavyweight belt. We all know Corey Anderson. I don't know if people know too much of Dovlet Yagshimuradov. Dovletyan Yagshimuradov I've known for quite a while. I mean, he's been pretty steady in the PFL. He's never made his way to the UFC, but I mean, he's a tough guy. And I mean, people are sleeping on him. Look what he did in his last outing. He's on a streak right now. He beat Rob Wilkerson. He got a knockout in his last go. I think he continues that knockout streak because he's got hands. And Corey Anderson, though he should wrestle more, he seems to like to stand up a little too much, and that could get him caught. So let's kind of cash with the co-main event and the dog with the vet Yagshimuradov plus 175 on the money line. I'm willing, like I said, to take the KO TKO at plus 310. Let's kind of double those odds up.
Yeah, it's a rematch. They in the fight they fought at Bellator 257 back in 2021, and if you remember Corey Anderson, he dominated with his wrestling. He won by third round TKO,
and then he got pulled off.
Yeah, and then his opponent, he won last year's PFL tournament win over Impa Kasanganay. And, Anderson moved up to heavyweight. He defeated Dennis Glossoff. So in the rematch with his opponent, I'm going to take Corey Anderson here. I like him as long as I feel like Corey Anderson avoids his opponent's power and kind of uses that wrestling. Like you said, I think he should have no problem closing the distance, using his wrestling, his pace, kind of tire his opponent out, and maybe could get the KO late. But I'm going to take double chance Corey Anderson to win by KO, TKO, or points.
He's got to live up to the moniker, over time. 25-8, Beast in 25-8. The only real ones know, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then in the main event, vacant lightweight championship, the fight we've all been asking for, but a fight that has not been served justicefully. I feel like it's been kind of disrespected. This is one of the best fights of 2025, the best fight that PFL I think has put on this year. And there's 0 press conferences, there's 0 promotions. Don Davis is doing a disservice to his fighters and the promotion as a whole, because with less promotions, like if this gets canned, if the PFL gets canned, there's just less places for the fighters to go. So I hope this is going to be a great fight. I hope the fight itself speaks volumes and that we could keep this promotion around for a while, maybe with a new president. Let's go Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes. I think the odds should be a lot closer. I'm hard in saying that I don't want to fade Paul Hughes in this spot. I do think he's very live, especially if Usman wants to keep this standing with him, because that's going to go right into Paul Hughes' wheelhouse. But I think Usman may have some more tools, right? We've seen Paul Hughes be able to counter wrestle, be able to stop those takedowns, and be able to stay up on his feet. But I just think Usman, with that additional tool there, I mean, he can always go to that wrestling, and maybe he's worked it hard. It's hard backing a guy that we know has popped for the PEDs, only like 3-4 fights short ago. So I guess that could be still fresh in our memory, but I still think he's very skillful, and you could kind of keep him PFL as champion because UFC will gladly sign Paul Hughes even off a loss to Usman Nurmagomedov. So yeah, I'm going to go with Usman Nurmagomedov. Great fight. Got to go by decision to get those odds down, plus 130, because there's no way Paul Hughes is getting finished in this one.
Yeah, it should be another epic 5-round fight. You mentioned it was the fight of the year last time. Should be another great fight. And I expect nothing less in this rematch.
Yep.
However, I don't expect Nurmagomedov to underestimate Paul Hughes the way he did in the first time. This time around, I think Umar, he knows what to expect, which I think it'll help him game plan, to your point. And I think for Paul Hughes, if he could defend the takedowns and keep this fight standing, I think it honestly becomes an even matchup. But if he allows Umar Nurmagomedov to implement his wrestling, dictate the pace of this fight, he's going to end up losing again. So considering how close it was, and I honestly gave the first fight to Paul Hughes.
Yeah.
With how close it was the first time, how durable both these fights out. To your point, I don't think Paul Hughes is going to get finished. I think the safest is to take the fight to go to distance. Get that at -190, still chalky. But Joe,
Fair.
Big news. Paul Hughes gets it done, baby. +235. I'm going to take Paul Hughes to get it done. I thought he won the first time. He's going to stamp his time this time.
A little curveball at the end there. A lot of the praise to Usman or Magomedov and the fighter that he is and the camp that he's coming from. But Paul Hughes is legit. If you don't know, now you know, and we're going to see it. If he gets that victory, it'll make him a superstar. But like I said, with the UFC kind of coming in and taking fighters from all these promotions, you could actually see that happening with Paul Hughes if he loses this one.
100%. So, Joe, good luck. They're going on right now, so hopefully Killmain starts in about another 2 hours or so. So we'll get that out there for the live listeners.
Yeah, brother. I think there's some other fights like ACA, Cage Warriors, Octagon, if you want to wet your whistle before the big events.
I do want to touch on UFC Perth, and we will start in the main event. I mean, Carlos Solberg, he has now won 9 in a row, and I personally, in my opinion, I don't give a fuck what happens in UFC 320. He is next in line. He's next. He has to be next.
He put a stamp on it in his own backyard. You know what I mean? Like, the way you finished Dominic Reyes, I know maybe we can go back and say Reyes is a little older and those performances he had.
But people weren't saying that 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. It looked like we had a resonance from him, and like he was just coming back with a whole new career, a whole new motivation. But I saw it like coming in, like, and it's not everything, the aesthetics, but not that Dominic Reyes didn't work hard coming into, but you could just see the athleticism coming out from the Olberg camp to where Dominic Reyes is on the back nine, right? He's on the back nine of his career. So that win, I think, does mean a lot for Olberg. And I don't think it's any slouch win, because I think Reyes is a tough fighter to beat for anybody. But Olberg, man, like if we ever asked for a guy to kind of put a stamp on getting a title shot, that was it right there.
I mean, it was such a clean 1-2, and to knock him out with that power at home, he stamped his ticket. He's next. Do you think he's next even if Pereira wins, or do you think he's even more? And I think an argument he has and what's going good for Carlos Solberg, he's fresh meat as well.
I think it does also mind what happens between Jiri and Khalil. I think
it doesn't matter. They both have had their chances and they both have lost.
If Pereira wins, you don't think they'll do a trilogy?
No. They don't like Magomed Ankalaev.
Wow. I think he would definitely deserve it, Magomed Ankalaev.
I do too.
If he wins,
Big Unk.
Yeah, Olberg is next. I think maybe, you could say Yuri or not having fought Magomed or Khalil coming out of it can deserve that shot next. But I think, like you said, we need the new blood. We need Olberg in there. I'm just thinking that if they do run the trilogy back, say Pereira does win, will the victor of the Yuri and Khalil matter for Olberg? Will he get that, or he's just waiting until the trilogy ends?
Why
fight? Doesn't need to. I think he has enough star power, that side of the world, that continent, all that. I think you have a number one contender kind of waiting in the wings, kind of like what have we seen in the middleweight division a little bit, right? We've seen in some other divisions. So, yeah, you could definitely do that here.
Yeah, so I think it fits up perfect time. We'll see what happens tomorrow, actually. And I think you wait. Early Q1 next year, fight for the belt. Do not risk it.
No.
I think even if Pereira wins, I think it's even more of a reason you give it to Carlos Solberg. They don't like Big Unk. I love Big Unk. You like Big Unk.
And he just fights the winner of Yuri and of Khalil. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So shout out Carlos Solberg. Taking a step back now, Dom Reyes, what are we seeing here? Because it didn't look good.
It's a case of what the UFC wants to do with him, right? I think this was the push, right, towards the title. Are you going to set him up with tough matchups, or do you want to kind of let him sail off into the sunset? Do you respect Dominic Reyes to give him good matchups? And what does he want to do, right? Does he have an input on it, the point in his career? So I think there's a two routes you could do it. You can go cutthroats and have him fight some up and comers and,
Zing Ming Yang.
Yeah, put him at risk, put his number at risk currently, which I think that's fair, right? You have the number next to your name. I think you got to give those guys a shot, but you can also see guys that like have been in the rankings for 10 plus years. Who comes to mind? Tim Elliott. I mean, just sitting there, tough guy to beat, but you could, you could sit in the top 10 rankings for years. So we'll see if that's going to happen with Reyes.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's going to, I think he may get a tough matchup again, his next side out. And then maybe depending where he's at, maybe they get some smooth sailing going. We got to see.
Shout out Jimmy Crew getting the submission win in round 1. I mean, the Perth people will talk about your boy Jake Matthews, but outside of that, every one of them won here at Perth. But Jimmy Crew got the submission win in round 1.
My boy Jake, I was with Neil Magny, but yeah, Jimmy Crew, man. I think we saw that. We saw that round 1 win coming.
Yeah,
right. Ivan Arslan's a weird cat. It's like he came into the UFC and I guess he's got some talent in there, but it just seems like a prospect that's like going to 40 years old is just not going to cut it. So great win for Jimmy Crew. He needed that. I think he's had a lot of ups and downs, and getting a win like that just solidifies him as a UFC fighter.
100%. And Jack Jenkins, that was a tough fight. Honestly, he got the unanimous decision win over Tavares, but it was a tougher fight than I thought.
Controversial, close, yeah. I don't know if it was a robbery. We can't just throw that word around. So yeah, Far Jenkins, he's really good. We all like Jack Jenkins.
Death, taxes, and Neil Magny. I mean,
yeah, not by decision. Get that finish, bro. He was down 2 rounds.
He was, and for him to fight, I don't want to take anything away from Neil Magny, but. Yeah, I'll say this: the ref, whoever had it, it's a bad day at the office. Because if I'm Jake Matthews, I don't even go out there. I'm like, nah, you called the fight. Yeah, what the fuck are we doing here?
Stands up for him. Yeah, that sucks.
It's terrible, and I know he's going to appeal it. His
respect Neil Magny though.
Yeah, but if I'm Jake Matthews, that probably took out a lot emotionally and physically out of him.
I think he has a case. It's not like his performance enhancing, no contest overturns
but nothing happens with
illegal,
the appeals.
Not much, so it could just easily stand. It's just an error, a human error. And, it's like baseball for all these years with umpires. And now we're going to, ABS and replays and all that. So, I mean, that's just what's going to happen. We want to make sure we get the right calls.
Yeah, but we don't want to take anything away from Neil Magny. He did fight back and win. And only behind one fighter in that welterweight division.
GSP.
Yes, GSP. So, I mean, I know DC has a lot to say about, Frankie Edgar not being in the Hall of Fame. And
that's crazy.
And who's the other guy? Jim Miller not being in the Hall of Fame.
That's crazy. Yeah, Jim Miller.
But Neil Magny's a Hall of Famer. He's going to wind up being the all-time win leader in the welterweight division. That has to say something for longevity.
That's what I was going to say. If Jim Miller can kind of break through, I think that can help out a lot of those guys to make it. It's not easy to fight for a decade plus and still be doing it at that age, right? So you got to give some credit where credit's due.
What do you think? Is he a Hall of Famer?
Neil Magny? If he keeps doing it for the next 5 years, I might have to reconsider. But at the
moment, not even right now.
No, I don't necessarily think so. Jim Miller is that fringe Hall of Famer that he should get it with his records and all that. But that's like I said, if Neil Magny could kind of put a stamp onto that, I think you can see him scattered throughout the record book. There's no way you can say one of the greatest of all time in terms of like statistical things is in the Hall of Famer. Kind of like maybe Barry Bonds, and maybe I'm gassing it because Barry Bonds is just, we see the eye test. There's a difference there, but statistically, it's got to speak for itself.
Yeah. Tom Nolan had a nice big submission in round 1 against our boy Charlie Campbell. Didn't cut a promo there. He lost.
Submission, the jiu-jitsu coming in with all the subs on that Perth card. It was surprising to see.
Yeah. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good.
All that rousting. I'm glad I did that live, bro. We back in Petrosky, but just doesn't seem to kind of cut it with the striking. Yeah.
He's not good. We that's literally how we outline the fight.
And good working with you on the slickness, thickness.
Oh yes,
there. Big underdog.
Big underdog cashes. So overall, I went 4-0. We cashed on I only placed one single
You
bet.
did two-leggers. Didn't you like do
Yeah,
4
so
two-leggers?
I did Colby Thickness. He cashed as an underdog. And then I did 3 parlays. I did Jimmy Crute, Carlos Holberg, Tom Nolan, Jack Jenkins,
Yep.
and I did Sterling and Montenegro, Michelle.
Montague. Who's
Montague.
awesome back taker, by the way. Her
Yeah.
back taking ability is fantastic.
So 3-0, plus 322. So it was one of the best weeks for me.
Yeah, I was profitable too. I went 7-4, man, throughout the entirety of my picks. Totals undefeated there. Props I missed a little bit, but did good everywhere else. And then, like you said, even for Dana White Contender Series, we hit there. So you count like the 5-0 in Dana White Contender Series, and you count the 7-4. I mean, we're very in the green. We're very profitable. That's an overall, what is that, 12-4 for last weekend. I mean, we did good. With your 4-0, we're looking up.
Absolutely. All right, kid. Hey, we got a bunch of shit to get into, so let's get into it. Before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. We're brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition, with only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry watching BKFC 82. It doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, okay, let's start. We'll go to UFC 320. Early prelims start at 6 p.m. here on the East Coast. Prelims 8 p.m. And then main card. Won't be able to say this much often, but live on pay-per-view. But
wow,
only a few more times we're going to be able to say that. But we will start with one of the best in the world, in my opinion, the Venezuelan. In the flyweight division, you know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
It doesn't even matter. The market tells you everything you need to know about Veronica Hardy. I mean, she's married to a legend. And she's really, after marrying Dan, I really think she's changed her life, made really big changes in her wrestling, in her striking, the fight IQ as well. She's a minus 800. I see 700, 800. Shop around. I'm gonna get her, take her via decision. Get all the juice down. I think her opponent is strong enough. Walker to go 3 rounds with her. I don't see a finish, but Veronica Hardy. I'm undefeated backing Veronica Hardy.
You are.
Let's just be honest. She
Yes.
is the best. Take her on the via unanimous decision.
And she's really growing into who she is as a person. Like, we've seen her now as the UFC starts promoting her. They just had her on, like, I think the Embeddeds, where she was speaking multiple languages. I mean, she's been fighting all over the world for quite some time, and she's kicked off, I think, the UFC card, the first fight of the evening for the 6th or 7th straight time now. I mean, she's just killing it as the first fight of the evening. And yes, you and I, we've been cashing with her, man.
Well, do you know why? Because she's married to the Outlaw.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great relationship. It's a healthy relationship for both parties, and it's blossomed into something beautiful. We got to just see where and how far Veronica Hardy takes this, right? We should easily get a win over Brogan Walker. But look what she did when she fought Juliana Miller, right? She, pretty much eased through that Juliana Miller fight. Brogan Walker fighting her, she got finished. So that doesn't really bode well. MMF is not always perfect, but I think looking at that, 60% of the time, Dylan's going to be right. And I was very tempted to go safe bet. So you guys, it is a safer bet taking Veronica Hardy via decision. But obviously, we're on the same side. I just got to take the chance and take inside the distance. Her first finish in over 5 years. I'm going to go with Veronica Hardy getting the job done. We saw her do it to Juliana Miller. Brogan Walker got finished by Juliana. Let's see if MMF Mads adds up. Veronica Hardy inside the distance plus 300. I love that we're on opposite sides, but yet the same fighter. So no wrong picks here. It's up to you guys who you want to side with. Now I see, Ramesh Bamraj. He's getting a big tough fight here. Austin Vanderford is a bona fide wrestler, right? These welterweights. I think I think you're getting a little bit of a clash of styles here. Bamraj has some good jiu-jitsu. He's got some good hands. I think you could see a finish coming from that department. I think you more or less see Vanderford wrestling, pace, grind it, grit, and just kind of maybe get that grind out decision victory. But I think the submission could be on the table. If you've seen Mirage on some of his losses, I think the late submissions are there, especially if he's on his back for most of the fight. So where he's most dangerous is on his feet for Bamraj, where Vanderford's most dangerous is on the mats. I don't want to pick a side where Vanderford's the favorite here, and Bamraj has been cashing as a dog, so he may be live, but let's go with the under 2.5 rounds at plus 140. So surprising they're not seeing a finish. I think, like I said, maybe more into the Bamraj finish, but Vanderford, I think, is still live for that as well. So, yeah, under 2.5 rounds plus 140. Nothing for you?
No, I got the next fight.
I want to hear it. So, you got a welterweight matchup again, right? You got Punahele Soriano, who was on the embedded. I don't think I remember seeing that low of a prelim fighter on the embedded. So, that just shows what the UFC thinks of Punahele Soriano. Odds makers like him. He's a minus 285. But I do think Nikolai Voronikov is a tough out. We've seen that last time when he was counted out. I think he came home with a win, right? So what do you think at this fight? He's plus 270.
Yeah, Soriano, I don't think should have any problem getting the win here. I think he's better everywhere this fight goes. Nikolai, he's been rocked, and he almost got finished in both of his fights this year. And if he gets rocked by Soriano, I doubt he has the durability to recover. And Soriano, he could also wrestle. Nikolai presents no threat of submission off of his back. So I think he's a good parlay piece, Soriano. And if you want to grab some plus money, which is what I did, plus 130, plus 135, I see. Give me Soriano to get the knockout here.
I'm with the same side as well. I said that he got the victory. Vertikov, it was a surprising split decision against Francisco Prado. I think us backing Prado the couple times, we got burned from him. So we question the level of a Francisco Prado, right? Yeah, Vertikov gotten tagged before. I think he gets tagged again, and you don't want to get hit by Soriano. He's got big fists. He's got brutal power. I'm with you. Like I said, and you said, Punahele Soriano via KO TKO. I got plus 140 when I hit it.
Oh, nice. So money's coming in on us. I love it.
Let's do it. Man, will Patchy Mix get it right?
Your boy.
My boy here. I mean, is he worth laying to minus 300 here? I don't think people know Jacob Whitlock's too much. KSW fighter, think a champion out of there. I mean, he's being counted out here plus 260, and I think you can see why. I think Patchy Mix should live up to the expectations in this one, but it's unfortunate they got to ship a fighter from another promotion to do so. Do we question ourselves in a sense that we had Patchy Mix rather high, but that was 2-3 years ago when he was the Bellator champion, not now as a UFC fighter. So I am going to take him straight up, but is he worth it in your eyes?
I have no play, but I probably would take the dog. There's no way I could back Patchy Mix after what I saw here at 3-1. And let's not, I know you don't disrespect, but there are other people like, oh, he's coming from another promotion. KSW is one of the most prestige promotions in Europe, and he's a champion. He has the experience, and if there's any doubt that Patchy Mix can lose, I think it's against this guy Jacob. He has some power in his fist, so I think he could starch Patchy Mix here. So I would take the dog plus 250.
Interesting. All right, I see this women's bantamweight matchup. You have Macy Chiasson favorited here. Rightfully so. Yana Santos, man, I'm very surprised here in this one. Yana Kunitskaya, she's fought and married Thiago Santos, I believe. She's a dog plus 140. I mean, I see her kind of. I thought she was done fighting, man. I got to back Macy Chiasson in this. I knew she's disappointed in times where we said that this is Macy's chance to kind of break through to top 5 and try to get a title opportunity, but she's fallen short. So maybe the clutch gene isn't much in there, but with a low pressure fight here, I think she should get the win. So I'll lay the chalk minus 185 with Macy Chiasson over an aging Yana Santos. Now this next one, Willie Cat is back. The featherweight's got Daniel Santos, and they're favoriting him here, a minus 155. But time and time again, you back Daniel Santos, and you get burned, man. I think you got to back the undefeated South Korean here. Ju Sang-yu, plus 145, coming off that highlight reel knockout to Jacob Saragui in that last one. Let's see if he can improve on that performances to get a little more fight time. So taking the dog hunting at plus 145.
This is at a catch weight too, right?
Yeah, that's right, because Willie Cat also missed weight. Once again,
Yeah.
showcasing unprofessionalism. We've seen that time and time again, and it's just not okay. It hasn't worked out for those guys missing weight either as of late. Normally, statistically, we've seen the advantages go to those guys. One's committing fouls, one missing weight, but not as of late. The guys missing weight, it seems they need that kind of weight bullyish stuff because the guys that make weight and are professionals are getting wins. Now I see in this next one, it's another bantamweight matchup. Farid Basharat is minus 430 as he takes on Christian Gutierrez at plus 400, man. I don't know if you've seen Christian Gutierrez, but he does not look like he wants to be there right now. But Farid Basharat is energized. He looks really ready for this moment. He's been fighting on a Magomed Ankalaev card, I think, for the past 3 or 4 pay-per-views. So, he's comfortable in the spot. He seems like he has title aspirations. I think to get there, you got to get through Chris Gutierrez and maybe with a finish. But with that being said, he does have the skills to take it all 3. So I'll just take Basharat straight up on the money line. Lay all that chalk.
Ooh. Nothing for me.
Scary.
Nothing for me. Yeah.
I got no official play in the Edmund Shabazian fight because every time I fade him or every time I back him, it does not work out for me. So I'm not going to side with the minus 290 favorite here or the dog in Andre Muniz at plus 270. Do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything either. Not until the main card.
Are you a fan of this Eteba Gauthier replacement, or do you think it's a joke that Tristan Vines gets this call up and it's minus 1,200 to 2,000? I'm seeing on some bods, and then
I just feel bad for him. I don't even know what I feel. I feel bad for the guy. They're putting him in to die here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the official lead is Gauthier via KO, but that's even chalked. So
first round,
no play. Yeah, you got to take it first round, but then watch and get the second round knockout. So stay away from it. But it's Gauthier, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I think a lot of people have been rubbed the wrong way by Joe Pyfer as of late. I don't know why. It just seems he can't get out of his own way. Minus 235, though, the odds makers do like him slightly. He's taking on Abbas Magomedov. I think Abbas Magomedov has evolved a little bit. I mean, he could be live at plus 225. Do you have a play on this?
No play. I would say if you do like it, take Joe Pyfer first round. But as the fight goes on, he has shown to gas out a little bit, and then I would live bet a boost round 2 or 3 to get the job done. Has he figured it out
too? Because Abbas also struggled with the first round gassing as well, but he seemed to have turned the corner.
Yeah.
What was his last fight? Was it Pereira? Was it Michel Pereira? Or what was
the
fight?
It was actually.
Yeah. So
yeah, I probably would take a boost. I can't take Joe Pyfer here.
I don't see the fight.
Like him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if you see Pyfer win this, it probably is the first round, right? He's going to try to hunt him, get him out of there. So I think the safe play is probably if he does gas, right? Abbas gets there. I'm going to go under 2.5 rounds seems fair. You have to lay a little chalk minus 175, minus 170 somewhere. So it's probably a safe bet either fighter to get that finish victory under 2.5 rounds. Man, I'm surprised to hear I want to hear your opinion on this one. Featherweight matchup, OG veteran of the sport, Josh Emmett being completely counted out at plus 400, taking on Yusuf Zalal. And there's a reason being, Yusuf Zalal looks like the next big thing. He looks like a superstar incoming. Odds have him at minus 440. D-Rock, are you siding with the 40-year-old dog?
I mean, plus 330 is absolutely fucking insane. And I really wanted to make a case for him. I have no play, but I can't back Yusuf Zalal almost 5-1. I think he's good, but look how shredded my boy Josh Emmett
looks like, bro.
Training with TJ Dillashaw up there. He's going to be ready, and one punch, and I think he might start Yusuf Zalal here. So there's no value on Yusuf Zalal, in my opinion. I probably would take the dog, if anything. Plus 330, plus 350 I'm seeing out there. So shop around it. And if it continued to rise, I don't know. I like I almost said TJ, which I do. But I got to take Josh Emmett here.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm all in on the 40-year-old who looks to be in tremendous shape. Yeah, they're saying, oh, he's improved his power where he should be improving other facets of his game. He's been a hard out for absolutely anybody. And we have yet to see Yusuf Zalal succeed at these levels where Josh Emmett has been ranked, as we just talked about, for a decade plus, right? So, yeah, I think Josh Emmett with that power, it just denies, it basically thwarts any imposing offense. You have to worry about that power incoming from the other side. And I think it takes a lot of fighters out of their game. So yeah, Yusuf Zalal could be an all-world talent and could put on a masterclass at any given fight. But I just think Josh Emmett's going to stop all that, put a rest to that, and he very well, like you said, may catch him on the chin, and all it takes one for Josh Emmett. So I think with that and with the round skill set that he possesses, Josh Emmett is a smart play here, being counted out at plus 400 in some books. Man, is this the people's main event or what, bro? This featured bout, we have light heavyweight matchup between Yuri Prochazka and Khalil Roundtree. Roundtree, a little doggish of plus 185, as I'm seeing BJP at minus 185, man. I'll tell you my opinion, real quick before I get yours. We all love Yuri, and I think we all kind of have a soft spot in our heart for Khalil in this one. I think either winner, right? Either guy winning this fight is going to be good for the company because they bring and bring absolute violence. I'm torn to not take BJP, Yuri Prochazka in this one. I mean, it's his style is just like second to none. There's nobody that can emulate it. He comes at all different styles. I mean, bro's running sprints while not breathing right now. Goes into dark rooms. I mean, just the mindset around everything. You see a determined individual that's willing to risk at all costs for a victory. But you also see that from Khalil Roundtree. And here's the thing about Khalil Roundtree. He's more traditional. He's going to stick to the fundamentals of Muay Thai, and I don't see this fight hitting the mat here. So, yeah, Jerry's been on a roll. The only one to have beat him twice was Alex Pereira. And I think a lot of people are backing him to go on to fight for the title again. Obviously we have Olberg in the mix that may deserve that over him regardless, but I'm going to say that Khalil Roundtree, with the fundamentals, with the traditional style of Muay Thai, can get in between the, crazy shots that BJP offers. And I'm just going to take a dog here, and I'm going to go back-to-back dogs. I took Josh Emmett. I'm going to go with Khalil Roundtree getting a win here. I don't see this going to the judges, so you could see a finish either way. Safer bet maybe would have been the under or the fight to NKO, TKO. But I am going to side with the dog, so I'm going to go Khalil Roundtree in this one, but you could easily see Yuri Prochazka with a great victory.
Yeah, I'm surprised Khalil Roundtree is this big of an underdog. Unless Yuri Prochazka has become a phenomenal wrestler, I think the fight will stay on the feet, which I think favors Khalil Roundtree. I think he is the better striker. I think he's more precise. He has tremendous power in both of his hands and feet. So unless Yuri Prochazka, I feel like could catch him early, I think Khalil's alive. So plus 185, I agree. I'm going to take Khalil Roundtree here.
Woo! I didn't expect that because, we can measure these things, but the things we can't, the intangibles, the heart, then like you said, both guys have it. But like you just said, like Jerry has like a possession. He acts like a possessed man out there, just throwing these crazy shots, taking everything. It doesn't seem fazed by it. So like you said, there's some certain, intangibles that you can't measure. But I think we're seeing on paper and on footage, the game footage that we've seen, that Khalil Roundtree could get this done, and people don't see it coming. Now, the co-main event consists of the UFC bantamweight champion and greatest bantamweight champion of all time, Merab Dvalishvili. That's a true statement, correct? Correct. Minus 360, odds makers, the public, the whales, everyone's on Merab. I mean, is Corey Sandhagen in a position where he has nothing to absolutely lose and he could win this because everyone's counting him out? I mean, plus 345, those backers are going to have the chance to make some money.
Those are the scariest fighters to face when they have nothing to lose, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a little torn in this one, not as much as I am in the main event. I just think that, as he said, Corey's like, you really think that I'm going to stick my knee through your face? So I like the mindset. Corey is a dangerous striker, but it just favors Merab when you come off fighting a similar body type before. I think I spoke of that before. When he fought Sean O'Malley, you're fighting a guy with a similar body type. Yes, a different skill set, but I think it bodes well for Merab having already seen that, right? You could expect the knees, you could expect the teeps, you could expect like the footwork, and what did he do all that? He can deny everything with his wrestling, with his takedowns, with his cardio above all. He can wear you out. So we have yet to see what Corey Sandhagen's going to be in like the later rounds of a championship fight. I think he has fought 5 rounds before. Of course he has, but there's a certain, adrenaline rush that you get when fighting for the title. And he wants to be regarded as the best and one of the greatest of all time himself. And so I think that puts a lot of pressure on you because he's very aware. He's very self-aware of where he is and what he needs to do. But being that aware, also, you get into a third kind of perspective. You get a vision outside yourself. You ever have those hard wrestling sessions where you're just sitting down, as you've seen in the Smash and you've seen The Rock showed it so well, just sitting there, just like and you just have like a outer body experience right there. I think that's going to happen in a sense that Merab's going to constantly be taking him down, and Corey's going to be seeing himself as, how am I letting this happen? Because you see it coming, you know it's coming, and you just can't stop it. So Merab Walashvili is going to confirm his GOAT status and retain. I think it's going to be too much for Corey to overcome.
Yeah, I think Merab, he's been flawless in his title reign so far, and I believe that run continues here against Corey Sandhagen. While I like Corey Sandhagen, and at this number against anybody else, I think he is live, but Merab just keeps pushing forward, and I think for Corey to win, he's going to need a knockout or an opportunity to capitalize on a mistake for Merab, and I just don't think that's going to happen. This fight should be fun. And I believe Merab when he says, "Hey, I'm going to stand and strike with you." I truly believe that. So
yeah, I think he can too.
Know. I got to take Merab here to win via decision. It's at -200, but it's a great parlay piece. I just don't see Merab losing.
Yeah, he's definitely a parlay piece. Those that I'm laying the chalk on, I'll give it to you after my main event pick, which we've made it to for UFC 320. This UFC light heavyweight championship is in the hands of Magomed Ankalaev, big Ankh, man. And we have a future ticket on him. And the question is your boy Joey D going to ride with that ticket? I faded it last time. I went with Alex Pereira because I just said, you know what? There's going to be a little priority here. Maybe we get this fight again. But if Pereira beat Magomed that first time, he would never have gotten a shot. And your argument, as you said, I think stands. If he even loses the second time as a defending champion, he may not actually get the rematch and get a trilogy. He'll have to fight one more time before doing so. I think that's interesting to say because I think Ankh could be like a star. Look at the followership that he has. Look at that side of the world that is following him, the champion that he is. And yeah, I know it's not bowling well with the United States audience, but the skills speak for themselves, right? Like he is world class. He's one of the best fighters. Alex Pereira, he's got that power. He's not shaving his head. We see this guy maybe reinventing himself a little bit. But that's where I fall short on it a little bit. Is this guy had to, he was a champion, he loses it, and then he's got to reinvent himself. I don't think you really see that coming from the Magomed camp. You see this guy just improving on what he does. And I think there was also an argument out there that this was like the best Pereira. I mean, the previous one was the best Pereira that we've seen, and Ankh still beat him then. So you're probably getting an improved Ankalaev as much as you're getting an improved Pereira in this one. So I can believe the backers for Poatan. I like him as a fighter. I think he was good for the UFC, but I'm going all in on my future ticket. I'm taking Magomed Ankalaev to retain and continue being a champion and just promote that even more so. So yeah, if we cash with that, we'll be hitting in our future ticket as we had him champion at the end of 2025.
Yeah, I'm going to do a same game parlay here since Ankh is a big favorite. I'm going to take him on the money line. I'm also going to take the fight to start round 4. You could get that at -105. Pereira, he has to defend the takedowns as well as he did in the first fight and kind of just let his hands go. I feel like he can't allow Magomed Ankalaev to kind of dictate the pace and make the narrative of the fight. And unfortunately, I just don't see that happening for Pereira. I like him. I expect this fight kind of to play out the same way the first fight did. And maybe I think Magomed possibly landing a couple of takedowns, unlike the first fight. So, yeah, I'm going to parlay Ankalaev to win and the fight to start round 4. It's close to even odds, and I think that's a tremendous value play if you believe this fight is going to go the distance. So, yeah, I like Big Ankh. I'm going all in on my future play as well.
Yes, sir.
And I also took a and still parlay. Merab money line and Magomed Ankalaev money line. You can get that at -130, which I think is fine too.
Yeah, and then one step past that as well for me, I'm going to incorporate Ankalaev and Merab as chalky favorites to defend, including Ateba Gautier. You got to squeeze that favorite down, and Farid Basharat. You got to squeeze those favorite downs, all combined, all on the money line for +200 for a 4-leg parlay. It's not too bad.
No. Well, Joe, good luck. UFC 320 this Saturday. All goes down 6:30. Main card at 10 p.m. here on the East Coast. Let's go to the ring circle. Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. For the king of violence, Jeremy Stevens, Lil Heathen, taking on Mike Perry. Unfortunate, our boy Frankie Edgar did not get cleared. And maybe from what I heard, maybe for the best. New Jersey's very strict, I heard.
That's good. I mean,
which is good. They're protecting the fighters.
Absolutely. And you should protect a legend like Frankie Edgar.
Outside of the main event, do you have anything else? Friend of the show, Mike Trezano, is fighting as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a tough fight. I think Jamie JC DeLeon, I think he's a tough dude. So I actually didn't want to touch that fight. I could cook up like a little parlay for you. You know what I mean? Because I know some of the fights on here.
Yeah.
So before we get to the fights, you know.
Your boy Brandon Bashaw, Conway, South Carolina.
I was gonna say you should see what he's done for BKB, for BKFC. He gets highlight reel knockouts. So before that, I'll be taking Elijah Harris. He's undefeated at BKFC, and then I'm going to take Bushaw as well, as you mentioned. Probably get the knockout, but these are all straight picks. After that, Phil Caracappa. I think he's the right side against Quinton Gaskins. He should get the job done there. And I'm skipping right to the Jimmy Rivera fight. Obviously, you got to take Jimmy Rivera coming in with the camp. I know he's a little older, and Timmy Mason, taller, longer guy, but coming off the couch, don't know how much you can trust the guy, even though he always said he wanted to fight a cop. And Jimmy Rivera, as you know, is a Leo, baby, law enforcement officer. So, still, like I said, still backing Rivera. You with me on that? Still going to take Jimmy Rivera?
Yeah, a guy coming from Montana. Looks good. Looks like a good guy. He said he's been running from cops his whole life. Now he gets to fight one, which thought was funny. But yeah, Jimmy Rivera, I'll take him as well.
Yeah, and then what you like in the co-main event, because I mean these women's mean business.
They hate each other.
For the Queen of Violence, right? You got the featherweight champ moving down to fight the bantamweight champ and Kristen Ferreira, who's always been legitimate. I think she's only got one loss in BKFC or in bare knuckle as a whole, so she's got more than 10 plus fights experience in here. But I mean, Jessica Borga, she looks to be an absolute destroyer.
Yeah, coming off 3 fight wins in a row,
all
by knockouts. So I think it should be a hell of a fight. This fight will not go the distance, I'll tell you that much. But I'll take Jessica Borga, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with her as well, man. I'm on that same side. And then to cap out my parlay, I got to go with Mike Perry. I think there's no beating this man in bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah, I mean, how can I go against the king of violence? I like Jeremy Stevens. I really do. I think he's a really good fighter. Undefeated. He knocked out the legend Eddie Alvarez. But in the interview that I had with him, Mike Perry said, like, I'm going to get hit, but I'm just going to keep smiling and coming forward. And I just don't think Jeremy has fought someone like Mike Perry. He owns this sport.
Bigger.
Yeah, he is the bigger fighter, and you got to give Jeremy credit. He's a 145er. He's coming up to 170.
And he don't care. Lil Heathen don't care.
But, yeah, I got to take Mike Perry here as well.
Absolutely. And so my parlay with the 6 legs, Mike Perry, Jessica Borga, Jimmy Rivera, Phil Caracappa, Brandon Bushaw, and Elijah Harris is plus 925. Almost odds of plus 1,000 for those pretty confident 6 picks. And I think we're in for some violence in Newark, and I think you're going to have a great time over there.
Yeah, I hope so. Kid, you went undefeated week 8, week 9 here for Dana White Contender Series. How many weeks are there, by the way?
10. There should be only, I think, after this next week, we'll have one week after. Yeah,
nice.
And it comes and goes. It comes and goes very quickly. So
what do you got?
Week 9, I got 4 picks. I only got 1 total in the middle of it. My totals have been killing it. But the picks haven't been too bad either. Welterweight matchup for the first one. You got Donovan Hedrick and Luis Felipe Diaz. I like the longer, taller Donovan Hedrick, and I know you could say he's coming on short notice, but I think he's ready to fight a guy like Luis Felipe Diaz. So, yeah, I'm going to take Hedrick. The next fight, you got Lucas Caldas, who's really solid everywhere the fight goes, but when it comes to Russian wrestling, I think it's going to reign supreme and be dominant. You got to take Magomed Zayanukov there. So, it's an easy straight pick. And then the middle of the card, the light heavyweight matchup, you have it in Rafael Pergentino and Luke Fernandez, CFFC champion Luke Fernandez. Unfortunately, I feel like this is a tough match for both guys, and I don't see a finish in that one. So it's just if Dana White's feeling to give a contract, he's been very strict. If you don't get it finished, that you're probably not getting a contract. So unfortunately for Luke Fernandez being an undefeated guy there, or Rafael Pergentino being an undefeated guy, over 2.5 rounds definitely might not secure you a contract.
Well, who was that guy that he went viral? He goes, "Hey, you were talking to me and you couldn't even finish. Sorry, next time."
That was the fight before the last week, literally. It was for Vagabov, Rashid Vagabov. He got that decision victory and it was dominant, but it's like better luck next time. So co-main, you got bantamweight matchup. I got to go with Vologden. I just think it's hard to fade the Russian cats. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all coming in like a factory, man, mass produced. So, and then the main event is a flyweight matchup for Imanol Rodriguez and Rock Jr. Even though I like the name Rock Jr., I got to go with Imanol Rodriguez. So, yes, that's week 9 for Dana White's Contender Series.
Joe, good luck. Should be good. And like Joe said, only one more week here for Dana White Contender Series. So enjoy it while it lasts. I got some news before we get up out of here. BSD makes his return UFC 322 November 15th against Benel Dariush. You like this fight for BSD?
Yeah, I think people are expecting him to get through Benny, but these are those type of trap fights that Benny wins. So you never know.
We saw it last time.
Exactly.
UFC Qatar main event. Arman Sarukian will take on Dan Hooker. Wow. 5-round lightweight main event, November 22nd. And that leaves Ilia Topuria with only 2 potential opponents.
Justin Gaethje or Patty Pimblett.
And I think it's going to be Patty.
Justin Gaethje.
Retirement
then.
Yeah, I hope he does retire. He's the biggest fucking crybaby in the UFC.
God.
So I hope he does retire. And then we got the co-main event. Joe, you need to remember the name. Bilal Muhammad taking on Ian Machado Gary, Chief Support, November 22nd.
It's funny.
UFC Qatar.
Because I think you're going to be siding with Arman and Bilal, and I'm going to be against that wholeheartedly. So, I'm going to be rooting on Dan Hooker and Ian Gary. So, may the best man win when it comes down to it.
Should be a really good fight card as well. I mean, it's really shaping up. They got Jack Hermanson taking on Mikhail
Oleksiejczuk?
No. Orenby?
Oh, Mike Techbeck?
Mike Techbeck, Orenby, yeah. Against Jack Hermanson.
That's crazy because Mike Techbeck moved up 2 weight classes. That's a middleweight.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not a welterweight, is it?
No.
It might be welterweight. Actually, I think Jack Hermanson's moving down and Orenby is moving up. I think it's at welterweight.
We also have Lonzo Menfield taking on Volkan Ozdemir at UFC Qatar and Tiger Ulanbekov taking on Corey Haraguchi as well.
Okay.
So this is going to be a fun fight card at Qatar.
Yeah. The fans deserve good fights. They certainly do.
It's the first time the UFC has made to Qatar, so they want to put it on.
Shamil Ghaziyev main event. No.
And then that's all I got, kid. UFC, 10 seconds left. What do you got?
We're going to one fight night 36. Luckily, it's this evening. I know we covered PFL to start the card, but we're going to cap off the episode by a fight that's taking place tonight. So you got to touch the MMA fights, right? The ones you can actually bet on. You have a flyweight matchup, Jared Brooks, the Monkey God, and Mansur Malakiev. I think Malakiev is a better all-around fighter. Jared Brooks looks to have fallen off a cliff, so he's in the right spot to fade at this moment in time. And then the main event for the mixed martial arts side of things is a light heavyweight matchup between Aling Singh and Sebastian Kadistam. I think Kadistam should absolutely win this. If Aling Singh wins and by knockout, be wary for people questioning whether or not there was a fight being thrown here. So I really think Sebastian Kadistam should win this easily. So yeah, just like I say, keep an eye out for that if there's someone throwing a fight. But other than that, it is a kickboxing main event against Pranjan Chai and John DeBella. So if you guys want to, like I said, mix up your, viewing pleasure, there would be some great stand-up fights going on tonight.
Joe, good luck. Should be a hell of a weekend. BKFC 82, UFC 320. Going to catch the end of Paul Hughes and Nurmagomedov in about an hour or so. So cannot wait for that. Joe, any last words before we get up out of here, kid?
Hey, brother. Enjoy the weigh-ins tonight. Try to catch a tooth tomorrow for your boy, and have a fun, safe time. It should be violence all around.
Should be violent, should be a crazy atmosphere in Brick City at Newark Prudential Center. So thank you so much, Joe. Enjoy the fights. Good luck on all your bets, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Get a Zeppeli for me from Pizza Town.